Isn't it important the kind of lens through which we view our life and how we interpret the events that happen in our life? Because if we view it from a place of fear or from a darker sense of being, it can come out as being very disempowering and not a story that really reflects on our strength and our resilience.
Beautiful, beautiful. That does happen with most people. There's even a negative side of mythologizing when you take a story that isn't quite true
Yeah.
and you pretend as if this is what happened to us. This is what happened to my people in my time. So the deep mythology, what my mentor Joseph Campbell said, the creative mythology is having the courage to go deeper and
Mm.
find the truth without any attempt to make ourselves glorious and glamorous. A very
Yeah.
dangerous word, by the way.
Yeah, because people can
Glamorous
be
is an old
delusional, right? People can be delusional when they
glamour is an old
interpret the.
Scottish word that means you're trying to hypnotize somebody else with your own beauty or
Yeah,
your own
yeah,
power.
right.
And the Odyssey is about breaking that down over and over again until you are like an immigrant on a raft drifting towards freedom. That is an image I think that has captivated people for 3,000 years. Odysseus on that raft, in danger of dying out at sea, trying to get home again. That's how we feel when we're flailing,
Yeah.
floundering, all those wonderful words.
Yes.
And there, I argue in my book, The Wisdom of the Odyssey, that there is a moment in which he, like all of us, are in such deep spiritual, psychological agony, we are considering, at least for a fleeting moment, of letting go,
Mm.
giving up,
Yeah.
surrendering. I think this is the first evidence in world literature of the thought of suicide,
Yeah.
of giving up. But he holds on. And I think people the world over, especially when this is told in an oral tradition with a lyre or some flute, some music in the background, we hope Christopher Nolan will be doing this as well. When he says, I am going to hold on, I am not going to let go. So here is, I hope this comes through, the power of my book, which I haven't read anywhere else. I think Odysseus holds on to that last sliver of the raft when he's floundering out in the tempest at sea. He holds on because of his love for his wife and his son and his country. He will not let go because he is also concerned for them. Isn't that a beautiful thing?
Yeah.
He's guessing that his wife is probably in trouble because he's been gone for 20 years and his son has grown up without a father. This is a metaphor for all of us. Can we hold on even when the seas are in turmoil all around us? Again, a metaphor for political problems, for ecological problems. Can we hold on? Can we hold on and keep sailing until we get home again?
It's almost like his family gave him a sense of purpose. It anchored him in sense of being and said, I'm willing to go through anything to return home to be with them. And I think we all need something like that, really.
Thank you for that. That's beautifully put. Another way to think about it, and it's always good in an interview if you are stimulated to say something you haven't said before. so, in this, I think what you're hinting at is true, and I circle around it in my book. He's going to hold on long enough to get home because he knows his love will make a difference when he
Mm.
returns home. And then, of course, my other favorite moment in the book, the one I actually begin my introduction with, and I just saw on Stephen Colbert's show, it's the moment in the Odyssey which inspired Christopher Nolan to make this movie at all. The dog.
The dog.
Book 17. When Odysseus has been away for 20 years now,
Mm.
and he returns home, Homer writes beautifully that Athena, his patron goddess, casts a fog over the land so he doesn't even recognize his own home. Think of the power of that. When many of us have been gone for a long, long, long time, we go home, nothing seems the same. Our
Yeah.
friends, our families seem different.
Yeah.
That's what Homer is saying. If you've been gone a while, it doesn't look like the same. And guess what? When they see you, you're not the same either.
Yeah.
That's the symbolism of the fog. So she puts him into a disguise because if Odysseus is recognized too soon, he will be killed by the suitors who have been trying to woo, that beautiful old word, trying to woo Penelope into marrying them.
Yeah.
So Odysseus is walking back to the palace, and what does he see in the staircase right in front of his home, his palace? His dog Argus has been waiting for him for 20 years. It has become one of the great emblems in history, in painting, sculpture, mosaics, you name it. The image, it's what they call a mythologem, a mythic image that shines brilliantly like a diamond, like a gem.
Hmm.
His dog has been waiting for 20 years.
What does that
And
dog
then
represent?
devotion,
Mm.
faithfulness,
Okay.
steadfastness, but also animal instinct. That there are times when our human reason gets us in trouble, it makes us swirl away. And the emblem of dogs, which are in paintings throughout human history, mosaics, murals in ancient times, drawings, they often represent the deep instinct that maybe we're getting away from. Argus is pure instinct, and Homer writes it so tenderly that the dog lifts its head, sniffs, and recognizes his master because he was his hunting dog, despite the disguise. And
Mm.
again, think about the beauty of that, that your deep, deep friends, your truest friends, your deepest lover will recognize you despite the years, despite the disguises, the fancy clothes, whatever it might be when you go home. That's what Argus represents. So Christopher Nolan, the famous director, says,
Hmm.
well, I decided to make the movie because I didn't have a dog when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I didn't have a dog when I raised my family. And then
Yeah.
I bought a dog and I reread in my new dog reminded me of that moment when Argus greeted Odysseus on the way home. And I decided to make the movie. This is art as sheer instinct. Isn't that a beautiful thing? You've
It
got
really
all
is.
these violent emotions. And what Homer asks, and I ask again and again in my wisdom book, what is your true North Star?
Mm.
What is waiting for you at home? What will pull you back to really your deep, true self? This I find I loved. I agreed to do our interview because the title of your story of your program, The Nomadic Soul, is at my own heart. We
Yeah.
are all wandering. We are all wandering, searching for the deep, deep, true home.
We are. Yeah,
So my question is,
and you do talk about the inner journey, and I mean ultimately this story isn't about monsters or distant lands. It is about going on that journey within ourselves and just having all those different experiences that change and shape us along the way. I think it teaches us so much about personal growth, healing, and becoming wiser. And I think that's why so many people can get so much from it.
yes. Oh, thank you. That's such a great lead because I'm asked this often, and even I began teaching myth in Hollywood in the early '80s to screenwriters at the American Film Institute. And this was before it became very popular. But I was working with Campbell, I was working with other filmmakers, and I began to see it was as if I had a kind of x ray vision where I would look at an old movie, Pandora's Box, Apocalypse Now, that was coming out, The Wizard of Oz. And if you
Mm,
know world folklore, you will see, as many have said, there are only two or three stories in human history, and they are repeated again and
they
again and
are.
again.
Mm.
So if you know folklore and you look at a movie or a modern play, you'll say, "Oh, here it
Or a
comes
Disney
again.
movie, a classic Disney movie.
Here it comes again and again and again."
Yeah, yeah,
And but why is that thrilling?
yeah.
Why is that exciting?
Mm.
Here's something I would really enjoy your audience to glean from this because wisdom is the gleaning of something
Yeah.
important from our experience.
Mm.
something deep. And that is when you are looking, let's say, at The Wizard of Oz, you're looking
Love
at,
was I love that. I love that
yeah,
movie. I love the
one of
book.
the
Yeah, yeah.
timeless movie, right?
Yeah.
Casablanca,
Yeah. Okay.
these great
Casablanca
movies.
too.
What are we doing when we're looking at these movies, reading a great book, reading a great poem?
Mm.
We're not just mindlessly admiring something from the past.
Hmm.
No, we're seeing something of ourselves in these
Yeah,
stories.
we are.
At some point, we're all Dorothy, who, excuse me, who goes to sleep one night and she goes on a dream journey. She's on a heroine's journey into another realm. We all do this every night. Dorothy's journey is our journey. Captain Willard going downstream to find the monster in the middle of Apocalypse Now. Everybody is on a journey to deal with the monsters and to do what? Redeem love. Our story should not end with monsters and murder. There is something beyond that, and that's the redemption of love. That's what the nomadic soul, I believe, is looking for. It's
Yeah.
not just glamour, history, notoriety. We're looking for love, which is, I'm not, and I do not mean simply romantic love.
Yeah, of course.
I
The
mean the
spiritual love.
deep, deep spiritual connection with the
Yeah.
cosmos, with the world around us.
Yeah.